All right, guys, it's the final home stretch of drafting. We've accomplished a lot this summer. We got to 15K subs. Hope you guys caught the show last Friday where we did the giveaway. Thank you again to everyone who liked, who subscribed, who commented. But now we got to land the plane. Today, we are going to do 3 drafts, 132, 133, and 134. And by the end of this week, by Friday at 5 p.m., when everyone punches out for the long Labor Day weekend, I will have completed 150 stream drafts here on the channel in various parts throughout the fantasy YouTube sphere. So we got to roll up our sleeves, get to work. It's the final home stretch. Let's go.
Oh, another Influencer 101 for the backward hats, bro. Rigged!
Zach Ertz with no Tyler Algier bringback? Yikes.
You reached around for correlation? That's a no-no. You ADP bros disgust me. How about you just live a little?
Handcuffing might actually be a way to get unique if the field's avoiding it. The Wi-Fi at this resort is a disaster?
These fucking streamers don't have player takes. What if a piss boy draft is the room you need?
Oh!
Man, I gotta get that intro updated with some of the new 2023 best ball broisms. Maybe we can get that updated here soon, so we get it in for at least a few drafts before we're done streaming best ball drafts here. Tom getting a little sad. Anyone else starting to feel sad about the last days of best ball summer? Yeah, it is going to be a bummer. It is. I've genuinely looked forward to hopping on stream all these Monday mornings to kick off drafting with you guys. Of course, the Wednesday streams. And as I said, I have a busy week this week to make sure I get all 150 streamed. Basically, what I decided is I can't risk letting Labor Day weekend come and go without completing all 150, because if I found myself in a scenario where it was close to filling over the weekend and I'm having to fire up an emergency stream, because my OCD would drive me crazy forever if I somehow ended up with only 149 stream drafts or whatever. So we are going to conclude it this week. The plan is this. Obviously, Best Ball Breakfast today. We're going to be drafting on other shows throughout the week. We're going to draft on the club, on Splash Play, of course. But then I'm going to add a Thursday Best Ball Breakfast. So we're basically going to have a 10 a.m. Best Ball stream every day this week. Today, Best Ball Breakfast solo. On Tuesday, we're going to have Splash Play with Spags. On Wednesday, we'll have our normal block with Pat and Sean. Thursday, I'm adding a best ball breakfast. We're going to have Easy from the Deposit Kingdom. You guys remember him. I believe it was around draft 75. He came on, and with his correlation sheet, we drafted a couple of teams. So Easy will be joining me on 10 a.m. on Thursday. And then Friday, kicking off at 10 a.m., a marathon stream to close it out. I believe if I've done my math correctly, we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drafts, and I've booked guests for most of those slots. So I will announce that lineup for the marathon live stream on Friday to close things out. And then, by 4 p.m. or so on Friday, 150 drafts will be in the books. Howdy ho here, Sweaty Hiker. We got Tyler out here coming out hot. Lots of talk about eating the ducks. Important question for you. Am I a picky eater? Doesn't seem so. No, I'm not too much of a picky eater. I'm definitely like, what's the word? I'm like a vibes-based, a mood, a seasonal eater. Like I definitely get in the mood for certain foods at specific times of the year, but no, I'm not a picky eater. I will eat most stuff here. How are we doing in the chat? Catching up on all of you guys. Everyone is fired up and ready to go. Brett just hit his 150th stream draft the other day. Congratulations. Neil feels overwhelmed trying to get all my final entries in. I definitely had that moment the other day when I was crunching the math. I'm like, how am I going to get to 150? I'm like, I'm going to need to do 3 drafts on this stream. I'm going to need to do 2 shows on Thursday. So we're going to squeeze it in. We're going to get it done, but it's going to be a fun way to finish everything here. And we'll see who has bullets left here to join me in these drafts. As always, tipping people off in the Deposit Kingdom Discord if you guys are trying to hop in one of my final BBM streams here. GM from J Mike Pete, highlight of the weekend. Yeah, we hosted 2 different sets of friends on Saturday and Sunday. You guys know Mike Zakarian from Team Hold. He was over here on Sunday as they were visiting Mass, and then had some other old friends who were in town with us on Saturday. So yeah, a good time hanging out with old friends there. And we are off to the races in our draft. Let me get all of my literal and proverbial ducks in a row here. Get the draft board up. Boom. Slide me to the corner. Boom. Get the overlay. Boom. Get the banner. Boom. All right. We're good. We are good. We're drafting from the 1-8 because that's just what we do around here, right? It would be against the law for me to have a slot anywhere than the 1-8, but that is fine. That is fine. Let's get the board situated here. How's that? There we go. There we go. We're ready to go. We're ready to go. And before we pick, we need to pour some coffee. We need to pour some coffee here. Quiet, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah. That was a smooth pour. That was smooth. All right. What do we got going in here? What friends and family? I see B-Spurf. I see Dobby. Mile High Magic. Do I recognize anyone else in here? It's been a while since we made the chat reveal if they're in these drafts with us. Bijan goes. I'm at 10% Ekeler, 5% Diggs, 11.5% AJ Brown. I'm down to get some more Ekeler. I'm down to get a little bit more Ekeler. I was been checking out, of course, Karain just released his legendary upside article where he takes a trip to the future and tries to play out the various scenarios that these running backs who go in the first 2 rounds and whether they actually give us a path to a legendary upside season. Austin Ekeler checks virtually every box for that exercise other than his age. But the one thing that makes Ekeler feel a little bit more like an outlier is just the fact that he's such a prolific pass catcher. And as long as he can keep that up, and it doesn't seem like he's at risk of losing, green zone touches inside the 10 to Joshua Kelly, who, by the way, looked pretty good, right? Ripping off that long touchdown run in the preseason, but still not a threat to Eckler's touches. So if we're also bullish on this Chargers offense taking a leap, we got Kellen Moore, we get one more swan song year from Austin Ekeler, delivering a legendary season where he eclipses 23 points per game, I believe is the threshold we're looking there to really smash this ADP here at 1-8. So we'll grab Austin Ekeler here and see what comes back to us. We see AJ Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra, Barkley all go. Who would I like to pair Ekeler with here? We could do a little Devontae Adams. We could do some Jalen Waddle. I've been wanting to get a smidge more Jalen Waddle. Of all these wide receivers in this range, I'm a little bit lower on him. Let's do an Ekeler-Waddle combination. Don't think that's particularly unique. I will pull up the Fantasy Life Best Ball Hub. That's one thing I've enjoyed doing with these final draft slots is just checking these out and seeing the various combinations I have with these first-round players. Wow, we got Sam Berman becoming a YouTube member. Underdog Sam Berman, now in the content game. Check out Sam Berman playing some of the trivia games over there on the Underdog YouTube channel. As Wood says, make sure to like and subscribe. It feels good, though. No more. If you guys are new here to the channel, we're doing the $1,500 giveaway. We're going to give away 3 $500. No, we're done. We did it. We gave it away. We did the drawing on Friday with Rob Coakley. Had a fun best ball after dark with him and then drafted a Bulldog team. Talk about a crazy room. That Bulldog room we drafted in on stream was wild. The quarterbacks were flying off the board. The tight ends were flying off the board. But I think we drafted a very fun team. If you guys want to check out that stream on Friday. This week, the Best Ball After Dark show, I'll tease this one now because Sam became a YouTube member. Bill Barnwell is going to be my guest on Best Ball After Dark on Thursday evening after Randomizer. I'm going to announce that guest shortly as well, but that will be available for YouTube members. We'll get to catch up with Bill, talk about this final push through the preseason. Bill is a high stakes grinder, best ball grinder. He's in here playing all of the games and contests on Underdog. So excited to pick his brain and then do a draft with Bill Barnwell on Thursday. That will be available to anyone who's a YouTube member on the channel. It will get you access to those streams, as well as the entire archives. Have had a fun summer of shows there on Best Ball After Dark. So definitely check that out. Becoming a YouTube member is a great way to support the channel. Tyler says, I do still want more likes and subs. It's good for the community in the future. You're right. We will not throw in the towel on trying to grow our YouTube channel, but it'll just be, it feels like a break for me. I get to take a little vacation from plugging the same thing every show. And that feels good to me. That does just feel good to me. But no, it felt very satisfying to hit that 15K goal. As I said to you guys on Friday, I don't normally set, metrics-based goals like that. Maybe I should. Maybe that's a leak in my game. But I did this time, and we hit it. And so many people did help along the way. Obviously, you guys, the commenters, we had the production team this year, Phil and Lou Dog and Nick, and of course, Chris doing all the thumbnails, all kinds of help here, taking care of everything that needs to happen for a channel to grow. We'll see what John does here at 3-6. And then we are about to be on the clock here. Okay, I am definitely going to take Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews at pick 32. You get the Jalen Waddle and Mark Andrews correlation. Didn't think Mark Andrews was sliding anymore. I thought Pat had ruined that with his legendary tight end article about Mark Andrews, but we will happily grab Mark Andrews here at pick 32. I did just notice this is my first Austin Ekeler, Jalen Waddle team. I did check that in the Fantasy Life Best Ball Hub. I'll post this down below. You guys have heard me talking about it throughout the offseason. It's an entirely free tool. You download your CSV from Underdog, you pull it up, and then you can look at your various combinations. You type 2 players in, and it'll show you which teams you have them together on, which stacks you have built around those players. So I don't worry about it too much in the middle and late rounds, but I do like checking those early round combos. And it's always, I don't know, it brings me joy to know I'm getting a unique combo that I haven't gotten yet. Audio listeners can't see what's happening on screen right now. We will continue to service the audio listeners, but there's some things that we can't talk about quite yet. But we do have Austin Ekeler, Jalen Waddle, and Mark Andrews to start this draft. Nothing else too out of the ordinary here. I guess Zamir Gibbs going at the 2-3 turn is pretty interesting. There. Josh Jacobs, Zamir Gibbs. God damn it. We did the prayer circle for Lamar Jackson and it didn't happen. I was like, if he gets past 38, we're going to get him, because I don't think the Justin Fields drafter was going to take him. I guess this Garrett Wilson, Pollard, ETN drafter could have taken him, but it was fun for a few seconds to dream. It was fun for a few seconds. Let's see here. So I'm on the clock. Normally I'm deciding between like Ramondre. Normally I'm taking Ramondre there at 4-5. If he falls, a lot of times I obviously take Breece Hall here, but we made this Ekeler bet. Let's see if we can push, grab Keenan. Might be unlikely that Justin Herbert comes back around, but we can give it the old college try. Yeah, what was the other? Yeah, I said not very many unusual things in this draft, and then I look and I see Zamir Gibbs at the 2-3 turn, Joe Mixon at pick 35. Mixon over Ramondre and Breece, I'm not going to get. We also see ETN here at 33. He's been pretty much a fixture of the 4th round. We do have Mile High Magic in the chat drafting from the 10 hole. He was holding his breath for DJ to stack up with Justin Fields, which certainly makes sense. Nebuchadnezzar, are you in the chat? Would you have taken Lamar over Ramondre? Man, Daddy 34. Daddy 34 just had to go grab Joe Mixon and Lamar Jackson and couldn't let me have it. Huge Fontaine says, what is your take on Keenan versus Big Mike? I prefer Keenan to Big Mike, and I prefer cost-adjusted Quentin Johnston to Big Mike. I have not drafted a lot of Big Mike this year. What am I at on him? I'm pretty low on him. 6%, which feels about right. He's definitely, Big Mike, I think, is a guy I've more gotten. My personal exposure when I'm drafting solo with him is probably like closer to 1 to 2%. I've certainly drafted him on stream with guests, but I prefer Keenan like in that same range, if they're only a round apart. And then when you can get QJ, 3 rounds later, for me, Mike Williams is kind of similar to the DK Metcalf thing, of course, before the JSN injury, where it didn't feel like the market was properly baking in what a really talented rookie could do for that offense and stealing targets away. So I still want to have exposure to the Chargers offense through those different degrees, but being underweight on Mike Dubb and being overweight on QJ and Keenan and about even with Ekeler, I feel pretty good about my exposures to the Chargers there. Wow. I don't know if I believe this here. Anthony says breaking BBM is going to fill today. I'm sorry, Pete. You're going to need to draft 15 straight. What are we at right here? No, we're good. 82%. We'll be good throughout the week. But I would not be surprised to see people absolutely blasting off over Labor Day weekend and maxing this thing by Tuesday. So that's why I just can't risk it. I thought like a Tuesday best ball breakfast a week from tomorrow would be fun. But I couldn't risk it here. We're gonna get this thing wrapped up this week. All right, we do get Herbert. There we go. Boom. We lose out on Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson, but we do get Justin Herbert here. So pretty fun team right here through 5 rounds. Justin Herbert stacked up with Austin Ekeler and Keenan Allen, and then we got Jalen Waddle and Mark Andrews there with the Ravens. So I've been talking about like the 2 offenses I could see this year just absolutely exploding and kind of destroying ADP would be the Chargers and the Ravens. So pretty fun to get some really concentrated pieces on those 2 offenses here to start. Good morning, Ben. Chris says, at what point would you consider Najee? The times I've taken Najee has been in the 5th round. I would probably need him to fall after like Kenneth Walker is where I would consider him. Once Kenneth Walker's off the board, that's what's been so hard about it for me is that even it's not just the wide receivers that I end up liking more, it's some of the other running backs. But yes, I'm at peace with my Najee exposure. And I feel like everyone's just done and bored talking about Najee. I don't know how much left there is to say about Najee Harris. We've all made our bets. No one's convincing anyone else at this point. And now it's just time to let the chips fall where they may. All right. George Kittle goes. Gabe Davis goes. Jahan Dotson now. Did we get a Jahan Dotson over McLaurin flippening? So Terry McLaurin slides all the way to 54. We also have Judy sliding to 55 here. How are we feeling about some of these injury slides here? Because I've seen like Judy and those guys falling real far. I think what we're going to do here, what I'd like to do, we're going to lean in to some correlation stuff. Let's see. What's the latest? Let's do McLaurin. I was trying to galaxy brain maybe some additional correlation there, but then I realized it might come back to me. And we're going to go with McLaurin, 11 picks past ADP. See, this is the thing too for you guys. You guys have a much better feel for me on how far these guys have been drafting. I have not done a draft since on stream on Friday. Yeah, so I don't know where the ADPs have been settling for Judy and McLaurin, but I definitely want to take advantage of some of these dips here. Yes, Randy, thank you for bringing this up. I do need to address everyone that my Dinger team, it's done. It had a very good run, but we did not advance from whatever it's called. Is this the quarterfinals round? I did check in on that team. You know what? This is what I'll say. I only had 1 entry, and if I had 150 teams, I would have won 2. That's all I'll say about that. Single entry, Pete. Couldn't take it down, but I did enjoy emerging as a best ball baseball thought leader, and we'll be running it back next year. So shout out to the Badge Bros for helping me slap some major dingers in that contest. CLN saying McLaurin will miss 1 to 2 weeks. Definitely happy to buy the dip there. This is the thing too that I've been thinking about for these final drafts, right? Like I do want to be drafting teams that my previous self didn't have access to. And, McLaurin going at the 4-5 turn for the entire offseason, like it's basically been very hard to pair McLaurin with a Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert, right? Because Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert have both been like 4th and 5th round picks for most of the season. I guess if you reach for Keenan in the 3rd, you take someone else. Yes, there's ways that you could end up with Keenan, Herbert, McLaurin teams, but just that general idea of with these guys that are falling a lot, the fact that we're able to get them paired with different combinations that the majority of early drafters weren't able to do or accomplish with those pairings, I think is definitely a strong selling point to drafting late, because the early drafters had the value edge. They were scooping up values we didn't have access to as ADP has settled and shifted, but we have an information edge. And in some cases here, we just get a market reaction edge of now getting some of these players at much cheaper prices. Michael got Judy at pick 83 yesterday. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't bite on Judy at 65 there. Yeah, baseball thought leader is done. There goes Javonte Williams. He was who I was thinking about, just building out this Chargers Broncos stack and kind of knowing it was unlikely for him to come back. That was what I was sitting there staring at when I ended up taking Terry McLaurin, was, should I just grab Javonte here? All right, let's see here. Are we going to make me take JSN at pick 80? Because I will. If the room makes me take JSN at pick 80, I will. We could also take QJ and just go heavy Chargers. Let's see what John does here. He takes Sutton. There you go, taking all of my Broncos bringbacks. Oh, another JSN share or rocket it in on QJ. Yeah. Let's get QJ here. We have such a big Chargers bet. And now we basically put the team together in the way that I would like to play the Chargers, which is fading Mike Williams and then playing it through Ekeler, Keenan, and QJ. So we'll just Omega stack the Chargers, and then we're just going to have to be on high alert for our Broncos bring back, as Judy, Sutton, and Javonte Williams are all off the board. See, QJ, I don't think, I think the guy more likely to slide back is the guy who's injured and probably not going to play for the start of the season. I will say, like, it has been interesting we've been doing our high stakes managed leagues drafts over on Ship Chasing, and QJ does fall a decent bit. I guess I'm still kind of confused why there isn't more buzz and excitement for QJ. Everyone's so in on this Chargers offense. It must just be the Big Mike thing. That's really the only explanation for why Quentin Johnston hasn't been more steamed up. Because he just feels to me like he would be a 6th round pick in the same range as Dotson, Godwin, Marquise Brown. Kind of interesting there. Wow. Ben planting his flag, 21% Big Mike. There we go, baby. And then we get takes like this. He's the wide receiver 4 behind Palmer. If anyone wants to book Quentin Johnston versus Josh Palmer bets. All right. If this is what we're doing JSN at 89. Where did you guys all go? You guys wouldn't let me have JSN all summer. I'm having to draft this guy in the 4th fucking round just to get my JSN shares. And now you guys are going to give me JSN at 89. Fine. Twist my arm. Twist my arm. And I do definitely think taking QJ there was the right move. I don't think if you're no one's taken, are we really taking Skyy Moore over QJ? I don't think so, right? So there's no way QJ comes back. Uh-oh, the bye week bros are out. Week 5 is going to be rough. Guess what? JSN wasn't going to be played week 5 or before that anyways. I'm screwed week 5 though. Pack it in. Pack it in on this team. Does this mean, hang on, question for the bye week bros, Neil. Does this mean you guys never onslaught a team? Because you're like, oh my God, I have 4 players with the same buy. You guys you never take more than 3 players from a team? That's sad. I feel sad for the bye week bros. They don't get to do onslaughts. I need more coffee. All right. This is a fun team, brother. I was rewatching I Think You Should Leave sketches, and whenever I hear brother now, he goes, shirt brother. Hey there, shirt brother. All right. This is the team so far. Austin Ekeler, Jalen Waddle, Mark Andrews, Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert, Terry McLaurin, Quentin Johnston, Jackson Smith, and GIGA. This is fun, right? Because we got our big Chargers bet, and then we have 2 ADP fallers that were going way, way earlier throughout the season in Terry McLaurin and JSN. We got the elite QB, the elite tight end, the anchor running back, and a nice loaded wide receiver room here. Going to have a lot of flexibility with this team down the stretch. What's up, shirt brother? What has been your worst accidental draft pick that you can remember this far this year? I'll tell you. We auto drafted Zeke Elliott when we were trying to select Durham Smythe, but I had a positional limit setting on that wouldn't allow me to take 4 tight ends, and so I autoed Zeke Elliott. There's a clip of it. It exists on the internet. It's terribly embarrassing. Promise me that you'll never do another rule, shirt brother, like not taking 3 players with the same buy. See, look at even the most hardcore statistical nerds out there have just fully capitulated. We got Davis out here, no longer an ADP bro. We got Neil Farley. At this point, I'm drafting more on vibes to wrap things up. In the end, we all become vibes-based drafters, right? Is that what happens to us all? What's up, Ben? Welcome to becoming a YouTube member. If you're in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, there's instructions in the FAQ to sync your account, and that will unlock the Best Ball Breakfast channel. We're going to grab Tua here. Tua at 104 to stack up with Waddle. Will the bye week bros be less upset with me if I now have Tua to cover for me in week 5? Seems fun. Justin Herbert, Tua at quarterback. Tua, Waddle, Andrews, Herbert, Ekeler, Keenan, QJ. Let's just have some fun. The chat likes my... You know what? This was always the thesis of the play, was you guys all used your BBM bullets. That way down these final drafts, you guys can't even get in my drafts with me because you guys have already all maxed. And now I get to draft in peace on stream. Dave says, Pete, who are your highest share of 18th rounders for BBM? We can go look. I don't think I have anyone over 8 or 9% that are 18th rounders. I had like 7% Justin Ross in the 18th round for a long time, and people used to make fun of me for that. Where are those apologies? Let's see. Should we grab? I think P. Ryan makes a ton of sense here, right? P. Ryan makes a ton of sense. We want to make sure we don't get boxed out on a Denver bring back. We're actually pretty thin at running back. Only 1 running back through the first 9 rounds. P. Ryan helps us get off to a fast start here, still gets the contingent upside late, and gets us that bring back on this mega Chargers stack there. So let's do that. I also, one of the things I look at for when I'm onslaughting a team is the week 15 and week 16 matchups. So we do get the Chargers play Las Vegas in week 15 and Buffalo in week 16. That'll be something I feather away for the rest of this draft. So the team now through 10 rounds, 2 quarterbacks, Justin Herbert and Tua, 2 running backs, Austin Ekeler and Samaje Perine. We got 5 wide receivers, Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Quentin Johnston, and Jackson Smith and GIGA, and tight end Mark Andrews. Daddy drafting a Kyle Shitsy team. Stepmom, help. I don't have Kyle Shits on this team. What are we talking about? I would have considered Kyle Shits if I didn't have Mark Andrews. We're talking about Daddy 34. Daddy 34. The chat likes this team. Yes, the Brick Draft Caddy works on multiple sites. I think Brick was having an issue with it on DraftKings for a little while, but as far as I know, it's fine there now. I think you can use it on drafters too. Do you even bully tight end? No, and I think it honestly might be a leak. Not saying that I wanted to be overweight bully tight end, but I wish I had. I would like in my portfolio, I think especially I don't want to do like Kelsey Andrews and stuff because I do think like the opportunity cost there is so high. But I do think when we started to get a slide on guys like Kittle and Pitts, I would have liked to have had a couple more teams that I think had those two on the same team, or even like a 4th round Mark Andrews or late 3rd round Mark Andrews that you get with a cheap Kyle Pitts. I think to pull it off, you definitely want to make sure one of those elite tight ends, if you're doing the bully, came at a really nice price. I think if you're reaching for elite tight ends, that's kind of just asking for trouble there. But yeah, I do kind of wish I had a few more in my portfolio there. Maybe some Waller with Pitts when Waller was cheaper. But man, has there been a more steamier player than Darren Waller? I mean, Darren Waller going at pick 55, almost a full round ahead of Kittle, 3 rounds ahead of Kyle Pitts, 3 rounds ahead of Dallas Goedert. All right, what are we going to do here? I think we're just going to keep correlating, baby. Keep correlating. We're going to keep correlating. Devon A-Chain, come on down. We now have Tua stacked up with Devon A-Chain and Jalen Waddle with the Mark Andrews bring back. We got Herbert stacked up with Ekeler, Keenan, and QJ with the Pirine bring back. We're out here double stacking. We're out here correlating, living the goddamn dream on a Monday morning. Please don't. I can't do the McKinnon thing again. Yeah, I agree. I mean, Dallas Goedert at 92 is pretty wild. What's his ADP right now? 78? Goodness. Did it go to the Hertz drafter too? Man, the Hertz drafter almost got Dallas Goedert at 93. That would have been nice. That would have been insane. You get Devonta Smith at 21 when you'll see the Jalen Hurts, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert stack, but it's normally at like pick 69 or 76. I'm surprised they were even able to pass on Goddard at 76 there. But I guess if you know that Goddard's been sliding this far. Laporta goes. I might have to draft Jerick McKinnon just for the lulz. Jerick McKinnon at 137 for the lulz. You know who I actually do want a little bit more of? It was nice to see Damien Harris back in action. I mentioned that I wanted to identify some Bills here as well as part of my stack with them playing the Chargers in week 16. So giving me Damien Harris on the ground there. Was not buying Damien Harris when he was in the 150s, 120s here. But now that he's back on the field, we saw him get that goal line touchdown. There helps barbell my heavy James Cook bags there a bit, and then also gets me that week 16 bring back with the Chargers. So the way I'm thinking about things is if the Chargers are going nuclear in the fantasy playoffs, which I clearly need them to do on a build like this, I'm going to need them to be pushed in both week 16 and week 17. So now we can play for scenarios where the Bills are getting things done on the ground against the Chargers with Damien Harris punching in some TDs, Chargers in catch-up mode, and then same in week 17 with P. Ryan on the ground for the Broncos. Expendables, KOD, super excited to get Zay, JSN, Mingo, and Tillman last night in my keeper league. I did my hometown auction keeper league draft last night as well. I think it's now the only auction draft that I do. I would like to do more auction drafts. What we need is auction best ball drafts, right? Because I just can't add more managed league drafts. But the auction drafts are a blast. I got Devon A-Chain for $1. Everyone spends all their money, and then we see all these sleepers that we've been drafting in the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th round on underdog all year, and you're like, oh yeah, I can get Kendre for $1. I can get Devon A-Chain for $1. I can get Jonathan Mingo for $1. It really is super fun. I do think that, man, underdog, we need auction best ball. The only problem with auctions, guys, is they take forever. They take forever. Bullock, yeah, actually helped me draft that team last year. I did not keep Amon-Ra St. Brown. I tossed him back. It's a super flex league, so I kept Fields and Goff. I got JSN in the rookie league draft. I traded for Quentin Johnston, and then I kept Ramondre. I have Ramondre at a really cheap price. But no one wants to hear about my keeper league. No one wants to hear. Yeah, that is the biggest issue with the auction stuff, is just the collusion elements. What was it from Best Ball Bros? John Olsen 1, John Olsen 2, John Olsen 3, John Olsen 4, all in the same draft. Sweaty Hikers in an auction league with a 12-point TD. That's wild. 12-point TD. I mean, at that point, just make up any number. At that point, might as well be 100 points. Scrolling back to see where some of these other wide receivers went in this. So we got Doubs going at 101, Burks at 98, Bateman at 96, Nico at 112. Chark still going at 144. Has there been an update on Chark since the hamstring? Have they done a timeline thing with Chark? Rojo goes, what are we going to do here? A Zeke at 145, man. All right, let's see what John does. I might just keep ripping it in on the Dolphins. Let's just keep ripping it in. We're going to handcuff here. We're going to go Mostert and Devon A-Chain. We are Omega stacking today. All in on the Chargers and the Dolphins. We add Raheem Mostert. So the team now through 13 rounds we'll recap after this 14th round pick here. But I'm at a 2-5-5-1 build. And I might not be done Omega stacking. Let me check in on the Dolphins playoff schedule. So they play the Jets in week 15 and the Cowboys in week 16. Let's see here. Jakey Ferguson could have been an interesting pick. He's off the board. Chig now falling a decent bit in drafts. Do we just keep? I mean, where's the tipping point for over correlating? Is Everett too much? Is Everett too much? I don't think so. At this price, at 160, I could make a case for another running back. We're done at quarterback. I can't stop correlating. I can't stop correlating. Gerald Everett, come down. What are the different levels? There's overstacking. There's mega stacking, Omega stacking. What am I doing here with the Chargers? I'm not taking Joshua Kelly, though. I'm not taking Joshua Kelly. All right, here's the team through 14 rounds as we are giga stacking. There it is. We're giga stacking. Justin Herbert and Tua at quarterback. Austin Ekeler, Samaje Perine, Devon Achane, Damien Harris, Raheem Mostert at running back, wide receiver Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Quentin Johnston, JSN, tight ends Mark Andrews and Gerald Everett. This is one of those teams, if I can thread the needle, gives you paths to winning the regular season prize. That's where I really think the Giga stacking shines through, is in the weeks 1 through 14, where you just nail the 2 breakout offenses and you're just running away with it. But we are also still trying to heavily prioritize our week 15, 16, 17 correlations. And I normally don't worry a ton about week 15 and 16, but the one instances where I do really start to look at 15 and 16 is when I have giga stacked offenses. And I really need, like, the only way we get to week 17 is if the Dolphins and Chargers, take a drink, are ping-ponging massive weeks. And they're going to need to get pushed by their opponents to do that. So if we're going to build a team that can compete both in the regular season and in the playoffs, we do have to factor that in. And we're going to be continuing to lean into this playoff correlation down the stretch. I think I have the pick I want to take. We are going to need some more wide receivers as well. It's been a while since we've taken a wide receiver. But man, this is a pretty gross range. I got some ideas, though. I got some ideas. So we have, I think we're probably just going to be done at both quarterback and tight end. I guess there's a chance we could maybe do a third tight end, but I think my play here is one more running back, and I have a guy I want to take, and then we land the plane with 3 wide receivers. Easy says, in theory, with 2 1 of 16s in the playoffs, I do think having 2 highish cost stacks is much more live than in previous years. Interesting, more so than when it was 1 of 12. Because I always think that the smaller the field, the more viable it is to giga stack. If you're only needing to beat 11 other teams versus 15. I wanted Zamir White here. So Zamir White gets me that week 15 matchup with the Chargers. Also gets me some other AFC West correlation here that I might try to build out as I land the plane. I was reading Sean Siegel's Zero RB list, and he wrote up Zamir White. And I'll admit, Zamir White has been a guy I haven't thought about a lot this season. And Sean made a very astute point about we naturally kind of forget about the really good contingent plays behind the running backs who stayed healthy and dominated touches the year previously, right? Like Zamir White was out of sight, out of mind, because Josh Jacobs was an absolute animal. And Josh Jacobs played every game last year, right? I don't remember him missing any games. And so when you don't get that, like, oh, this is what happens when that back is out, then you get drafters like me who fall into typical psychological traps and are like, oh, Zamir White's just Zamir White. Like, he doesn't. Whereas if he got one game, say like the Alexander Madison effect, right? We've all been drafting Alexander Madison in the 12th round previous to all this Dalvin Cook stuff because we've seen what he does when Dalvin Cook is out. But we didn't really ever get to see what Zamir White did with Josh Jacobs staying healthy last year. So he's felt like more of a, blasé contingent pick. But he is someone that I like a good bit here. So I think I'm going to start getting some Chiefs here. Justin Ross, a guy who's my ownership has dipped on him to 4% just because I've stopped taking him in this range. But as I build out these late correlations here, I think Justin Ross makes a ton of sense in this build. And I'm going to start ripping in 2 more wide receivers to land the plane here. So we're at a 2-6-6-2 build. We do a 15-16 KC Las Vegas little correlation there. The Chiefs play Las Vegas in week 16. Justin Herbert and Tua at quarterback. We got our 6 running backs: Austin Ekeler, Samaje Perine, Devon Achane, Damien Harris, Raheem Mostert, and Zamir White. We got our 6 wide receivers: Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Quentin Johnston, JSN, and Justin Ross. And then looking good at tight end with Mark Andrews and Gerald Everett. I did consider Greg Dulcich there for a second, but I think I want the wide receiver bullets, especially with, I'm really rookie heavy. I'm also injury heavy with McLaurin and JSN. So I think I'm going to want the extra bullets at wide receiver to actually kind of build me in some early season production at wide receiver, because I do think you could make the case after Waddle and Keenan, I could have a lot of slow starters. McLaurin misses the start of the season. QJ comes along slow. JSN isn't back until after the bye. Justin Ross takes a while to develop. I think my mission with these last couple picks is to try to get some production at wide receiver earlier in the season. If this team is going to survive, we're going to need some picks. I was hoping Richie James was going to come back to me. That's what I was trying to do, was set up those two Chiefs there. Richie James had the later ADP, so I thought there was a chance Richie James could come back. That did not happen. Now it's time to get creative here with some wide receivers. Mecole Hardman plays Miami in week 15. Man, it did really get gross here. I do think I might just have to throw a little of the correlation stuff out with how thinned out we are here. Someone says Parker in the chat. I'm pretty sure Parker's already gone. Yeah. Let's see here. The chat screaming at me to take Josh Palmer. I do think we're going to start with Mecole here, just a guy who will hopefully be on the field. We get a little correlation there with Miami. The chat wanting me to do Bob Woods, Josh Reynolds, Puka. See, Puka doesn't fit in with what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get some wide receivers who are going to just be on the season. Bob Woods and Allen Robinson are probably two of the better ones if I'm just looking for early season production here. Allen Robinson, bring back from JSN. The thing is, you could sell me on Allen Robinson right now for early season production. I'm not really in the business of correlating Allen Robinson in week 17. Although, who knows? Maybe he'll shove it down my throat. But it seems like a thin bet for Allen Robinson to be the guy you need in week 17. But who knows? Bobby Woods. This does feel like a Bobby Woods team, right? Bobby Woods or Allen Robinson? What's it going to be, guys? We got to make a gross wide receiver pick here. This isn't the team I can take Calvin Austin on, guys. We're trying Calvin Austin. We're praying Calvin Austin gets on the field in like week 15 for the first time. We need some touches here. We need some touches. We need actual targets out of the gate. I do think these two are the best chances to get targets out of the gate. We don't have any correlation tiebreakers. This one goes out to Pat Carrain, who once wrote a one-tweet thread on Robert Woods. There you go. I do think this is like, it is a good exercise to think together of how a team comes together. And because trust me, like that, it pained me to click Robert Woods. I know it pained you guys. Everyone wants me to take Mac Hollins and Calvin Austin and whatever other buried wide receiver. But I have to be honest with myself of like, I love this team. I cannot let this team be in such a massive deficit points-wise at the beginning of the season that we never even give it a chance. And obviously the scenarios where this team is in contention in the regular season, it's because these rookies are getting off to fast starts. McLaurin doesn't miss hardly any time at all, yada, yada. But I do think we have to be realistic about this stretch of picks here. McLaurin, QJ, JSN, and Justin Ross. Like those guys could legit be, that could be 0 total points from those guys the first couple weeks of the season. So I think it makes sense to, in the same way we think about the texture of our 0 RB rooms, right? In the type of players that are fitting together and how their production fits together. Normally the picks we make at the end, I am optimizing for late season correlation, breakout stuff. But this was one of the unique teams because of buying the injury dips and being so heavy on the rookies that I just needed to bank some early season production here. So this team is now in the books here. Let's refresh and take a look here, and we will recap this team. What do we got here? This was draft number 132 on Best Ball Breakfast. We got a 2682. with LAC and Miami. And for the audio listeners here, one sec. By the way, I post all of these episodes on the In a Vacuum podcast feed. So if you guys are on the go, that is how you can listen to these. We got Justin Herbert and Tua at quarterback. Our running backs, Austin Ekeler, Samaje Perine, Devon Achane, Damien Harris, Raheem Mostert, and Zamir White. Wide receiver, Jalen Waddle, Keenan Allen, Terry McLaurin, Quentin Johnston, JSN, Justin Ross, Mecole Hardman, and Robert Woods at wide receiver. Tight end, Mark Andrews, Gerald Everett. Love my quarterbacks. Love my running backs. Love my tight ends. Love my Giga stacks. Legitimately worried about my early season wide receiver production. But if I can get a quick recovery from Terry McLaurin and a fast start from QJ, I think we can cook. I think we can cook. Shout out to Steven Rooney. He's been a member for 4 months. Also, one of the winners of our $500 giveaway. Steven, have you spent your money? I Venmo'd you $500. Have you spent it yet? Let us know how you have spent the money. And I am hopping in my next draft. I already hopped into it. I tipped you guys off in the Discord, and we get an influencer 1-2. We're feeling good. We're feeling good. Let's update here. A few housekeeping things. This is now going to be draft 133. And I am on the clock, and I get to select Jamar Chase. What a beautiful, blessed day. Come on down, Jamar Chase. We are going to feed the ducks. You guys are going to get 2 duck feedings back-to-back today. Normally, we only do 2 drafts. Ducks get fed in the second draft. Well, we're doing 3 drafts, which means double the ducks. And I think we need more coffee. Oh no. The good news was that was a nice pour. The bad news is I'm now out of coffee. But it's probably a good thing. Need to chill out on this caffeine. Who do we have in this draft? Any friends and family? I don't know if I recognize anyone. We got Hoddle, Luthemia, Che Thompson. I don't recognize anyone here. If you're in the chat and you're in this draft, reveal yourself. You're legally obligated. Duke coming in with the hard questions. Pete, do you want to win? Pete, do you believe you are capable of being a champion? This is what I needed all along in the chat. I just got you guys trolling me, shit posting, pushing your own agendas. What I really needed was a life coach in the chat. And Duke is coming up big for me today. You know what, Duke? I think I am capable of being a champion. I think I am. I'm ready to run through a brick wall. We're out here giga stacking, finally drawing influencer 102s. I'm going to land this plane, Duke. We're going to land this plane. We are going to draft the winning Best Ball Mania 4 team on stream. That's what we're going to do this year. I'm visualizing it. I'm manifesting it. I'm going full The Secret on it. I'm putting it on a vision board. I will win Best Ball Mania 4. Terry McLaurin will return in week 1 and deliver me to the promised land. Thank you, Duke. Duke says it's time to reach your potential. All these haters. I put a wall up and they just wallpaper. All right, Ben becomes a YouTube member and then has to dip out to class. Do you go to Harvard, Ben Harvard? Good job, Ben. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Take notes. My Jammy Sports said, do you feel good about your pace to 150? Would you like to be further along? So I have mentioned that I wanted to do a marathon stream to close things out. I wish I was like 5 more ahead because I'm going to have to squeeze in some drafts into some random nooks and crannies this week. So it's going to be an extra busy week for me. But no, I'm excited for final draft week to be loaded to the gills with drafts. Am I spiking that coffee on the down low? No. The caffeine is all I need. Let's see. Silas says, what's the goal for finishing monitoring Phil? Yeah, I mentioned this at the top of the stream. We're going to have best ball breakfast every single day this week, concluding with a marathon stream on Friday, kicking off at 10 a.m. We're going to do our last 6 to 7 drafts. We're going to have best ball breakfast with Easy on Thursday. We'll do a couple drafts with his sweet correlation spreadsheet. Wednesday, we'll be with Pat and Sean. All right, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do here? We've already done some of the Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson with Jamar Chase. What do we want to do? I don't think I've done the Mahomes. Should I do the Mahomes slappy thing? I don't think I've done it. Let's just live a little. I'm going to be underweight the elite quarterbacks. I have not done the Chase Mahomes thing. I see all the correlation bros getting their Chase and Mahomes and screenshotting it, and I just got jealous there. I said, it's my turn. It's my turn to do it. Let's see. What do we do? And we're gonna grab JT here. I think this JT thing is going to get settled shortly, and his ADP is going to snap up into the middle of the second round. So we're going to start Mahomes, JT, and Jamar Chase here. Let me see. I do want to confirm in the Fantasy Life Best Ball Hub if I have any Mahomes Chase. I'm almost positive I don't. It would be hard because I only have, 6% Chase, and I had 3% Mahomes. Davis, taking Mahomes is not slappy. Grow up. Taking Mahomes in round 2 is slappy. You get off the hook of slappiness if you take him in the third. I did. I have one Mahomes Chase team. My 36th Best Ball Mania team. I'm going to see here. What did I start with? I did a Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, Patrick Mahomes. So I do have one of these. Very interesting. I'll go ahead and start to announce some of the guests for the Friday marathon stream. To kick things off at 10 a.m. Eastern on Friday, Davis Maddock and David Kitchen drafting with me. On the Swolecast, we're generally drafting on our own, in our own little silos. Davis out here reaching for quarterbacks 2 rounds ahead of ADP to lock up those early stacks. David Kitchen gobbling up Deshaun Watson whenever he sees his name on the screen. But no, on Friday, the 3 of us are going to draft together in unity. That will be an interesting experience. So that is how we're kicking off the marathon stream on Friday at 10 a.m. Davis Maddock, David Kitchen, and myself. What's up, Sammy? Thank you for your never-ending well of positivity. Sending love as usual. Friday, I will tailgate so I can draft with you guys. Should I do a boozy? Because Friday is going to be basically best ball breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe we do mimosas. Do we do mimosas on Friday? I feel like mimosas on Friday would be fun. I think we need to do mimosas. No brunch on Friday. We're doing best ball breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We're skipping right over the brunch. Pete, I feel like it has been a long time. Must have been a busy weekend of drafting. It does feel like an eternity. Whenever I take the weekend off from drafting and obviously streaming, it does feel like a long time, especially because I've had lots of Fridays where I haven't streamed. So Thursday is often my last day of streaming. And then it's like every day I come back and I punch in at the office. I say, fuck. Got a case of the Mondays. Got to go draft Best Ball Mania teams again. Grab my briefcase, my hard hat, my lunch pail. Get back to the content mines. No, I get super excited every Monday to draft. 1, because it's fun as hell, and 2, because I miss it. Because I'm not out here burning myself on drafting. I really only have, I have like 10 weekly winner slow drafts going right now. And we got a couple co-managed leagues we're doing. We got a Mastiff slow draft we're doing. I got a couple Bulldog drafts. Our production team here, Lou, Phil, and Nick, we're drafting a Bulldog team right now. I'm drafting a Bulldog team with Michael Dubner. So getting in some high stakes slow drafts behind closed doors where you guys can't snipe me. Thank you to I Am Your Dad for taking Joe Burrow, so I didn't even have to consider it. We're going to have to do Breece Hall at pick 47. Oh, Breece Hall goes. It is crazy how much of a wide receiver dead zone this has turned into here. I mean, when you look down, I mean, Deontay Johnson's price way up, McLaurin Judy sliding, Kirk sliding. We got to take Ayuk. So through 4 rounds, Patrick Mahomes, Jonathan Taylor, Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk. Breece Hall goes 1 pick before me at 410. And I think we're going to end up grabbing a running back here. Been saying I've been wanting to get more Kenneth Walker. There's been some running backs I've been trying to boost my exposure to down the stretch. ETN, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, DeAndre Swift. We'll grab Kenneth Walker here. Earlier than where I've taken him on most of my teams this year because he was kind of living in the back end of that 5th round. But we've now just kind of seen that ADP, right? With all of these wide receivers sliding. Now you got Aaron Jones and Kenneth Walker and these guys inching up as drafters realize, yeah, I'd rather take that running back instead of an injured McLaurin or whatever. So we go Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, Jamar Chase and Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver, JT and Kenneth Walker at running back. Watch this be the team I'm forced to take McKinnon. This draft needs more flair. What more do you want? Tell me what these other streamers are doing and how much flair they're offering you. How much more flair can I give you, Chris? I'm out here pumping my veins with caffeine to perform for you, and you want more flair? I think we'll do mimosa. Here's the thing. I prefer if I'm I'll say the word. When I go to brunch, real brunch, I'm a Bloody Marys guy. That's definitely my drink of choice. But if you're thinking through stream logistics, sure, if I could just have a Bloody Mary catering service here bringing me fresh Bloody Marys throughout the stream, I would go Bloody Marys. But if I'm thinking the ease of use of preparing and bringing down all the materials and goods and pouring myself drinks throughout a stream, I think mimosas are going to be an easier lift. So I just want it known out there, Team Mimosa, Team Bloody Mary. There's good people on both sides, generally on Team Bloody Mary. But for this, logistically, I think mimosas make sense. You just want to woo? Woo! There you go. Brandon wants me to go straight to the beer. There is it's funny how different alcoholic drinks have various connotations. If you getting a mimosa or a Bloody Mary at brunch is just completely normalized. But if you're drinking beer at 9 a.m., you basically, again, to not be judged by society, places you can do it, if you're at an airport bar, all bets are off, right? You have a beer at the airport bar at 9 a.m. No one's going to judge you. If you're at the sports book, you're in Vegas and you roll down, you get your bets in, the action's about to kick off. No one's judging you for having a beer at 9 a.m. You're on the guy week trip, right? You guys, you all wake up the next morning, a little hair of the dog. No one's making Bloody Marys because everyone's too hungover and no one's got time for that. So you crack open a beer, no one's judging you there. But for the most part, the beer at 9 a.m., I think beer on stream at 9 a.m., it feels aggressive. And I don't even know if I have kind of the palate or the appetite for a cold beer at 9 a.m. in certain contexts, right? Maybe a Guinness, you go to the pub and you're watching soccer with your friends because your friends like soccer and they've convinced you that it's an elitist sport that you're smarter for watching, then yeah, you have a Guinness at the bar at 9 a.m. But just like, Modelo, that's my go-to beer. Like I'm not cracking a Modelo at 10 a.m. on Friday. I appreciate you guys workshopping this with me, talking it through, but I think I'm settled on mimosas for Friday. You should hire yourself, drink a Bloody Mary. That would be incredible. If there is, in the greater Boston area, if there's a Bloody Mary catering service, it'd be incredible if there was just like a Bloody Mary cart over my back shoulder. Welcome, Ryan, becoming a new YouTube member. That's all I needed to do was pontificate on what things are socially acceptable to drink in the morning. And that's how I get the YouTube members. Stop talking about Kenneth Walker, Pete, and talk about the top 5 beers to drink at the ski lodge in the hot tub after a long day. I always love those posts. They're like, first beer with your buddies on the trip. That's a top 5 beer. Post run is one of my favorite beers. All right, what are we going to do here? We need some receivers, right? You guys said Judy's been falling to the 80s, right? Is this a Gabe Davis spot? Gabe Davis goes. We've been pushing JSN. Man. Man, this got gross here. Maybe do we just keep loading up on some James Cook and then see what comes back to us wide receiver wise? You know what? Let's grab Zay Flowers, plays Ayuk in week 16, and then we'll see what comes back to us here. But man, it is crazy how gross wide receiver has gotten. That's what I did, Silas. We did Zay. I think we grab James Cook here. I imagine James Cook is going to be falling a little bit because of the Damien Harris stuff. I mean, he was going in the 6th round there for a while. I guess I'm taking him slightly ahead of ADP. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. The chat's saying I should take Pittman. He's another guy that, man, can fall sometimes to the 8th round. Let's go James Cook here. So we have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback, JT, Kenneth Walker, James Cook at running back, wide receiver Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Zay Flowers. The nice thing too about like the Mahomes teams when you're weak at wide receiver is there ends up being tons of backdoor options for stacks. So we'll be ripping it in with Chiefs pass catchers down the stretch. Tyler says you and Leone should do a beer mile draft. Yeah, last time I did a beer mile draft was when Pete Manzanelli challenged Jonathan Bales and Adam Levitan to a beer mile. That is the Broathlon. If you search my YouTube channel in the words Broathlon, you can find that video. Mans did win, but it included a penalty lap because we had a penalty. If you threw up the beer, you had to do an extra lap. Mans threw up and still beat Levitan and Bales in the beer mile. But yeah, I would actually be game to do another beer mile sometime. As a reminder, I do know we're in crunch time. A lot of people have been watching some of these streams, haven't signed up at Underdog. There's a promo void in this show now that I'm not doing the sub to the channel. But you can get a $100 deposit match on Underdog Fantasy. See my nifty new sign there? You sign up on Underdog, you can put in up to $100, they'll match that. So first time depositors, put $100 in, get $100. If you only want to do 25, they'll match that. Promo code Pete on Underdog Fantasy. If you guys, for some reason, have been watching all these streams all summer and you say, you know what? Now's the time where I jump in. All this Bloody Mary and mimosa talk has gotten me really itching to do a draft. Bales has been on the club. I don't know. Bales is off the grid, man. Who knows where Jonathan Bales is these days? He's off the grid. Testimonials. Deposit closet. No, Tyler. Your comments remain paywalled to the audio or the visual listeners. Christopher, do I do any guillotine drafts? Yeah, I'm doing one of them right now in a fun league. I will actually, I'll now announce another guest for the Friday stream because I'm in this draft. Tom Everett Scott, who you guys know, from things like the randomizer, that thing you do. I mean, you know all of his credits. He's going to come on and do a draft with me. I'm doing a guillotine draft with him right now. So yeah, I always do that one guillotine draft a year. It's very fun. Drafted Justin Herbert in that one. But yes, Tom Everett Scott will be a part of the Friday marathon stream. His draft is going to be at 1:20 p.m. Eastern. I'm scheduling this bad boy down to the minute. 50-minute chunks, guests, streams, Best Ball Mania draft. Tom Everett Scott. Who is your most drafted player? I still think I'm JSN at the highest, although it might have gone down. James Cook is close. What is he at? 16.8%. Had a ton of JSN, 19.8%. Had a ton of Sam Howell, 16%. All right. We're about to pick here in the 8th round here at 8:11. Silas says, my Damien Harris bags are packed and a bit scurred. I did just get a share of him. Come on. For old time's sake, Neil. Let me do it. I'll head over to the ship chasing stream if you let me do it. I'll head over. We'll roll the clip. We'll roll the fucking clip.
Skyy Moore, 2 wide.
That's the fucking sickest name I've ever seen for a wide receiver in my goddamn life.
Sky's up.
Oh, that's
All right, we did it. Skyy Moore. I don't always draft Skyy Moore, but when I do, it's when I select Patrick Mahomes. All right, let's see here. I think still need to be loading up on wide receivers here. Do I go Bateman or Tony? I mean, Bateman, I click a lot. He plays Ayuk in week 16. I guess I have 5% Tony. I mean, this is the time to take Tony, right? This is the time. If I'm not taking Tony with Patrick Mahomes when I don't have Travis Kelce, when else am I taking Kadarius Toney? These are some of the spots where you kind of wish you're in the middle of the round, and it's a little easier to catch some value fallers. Tony's obviously not coming back to 119. I prefer Bateman. I take Bateman way more often, had triple Tony, but these are those spots where I got to use the correlation as the tiebreaker there. Davis, you don't get to talk about Justin Ross. You are an unreliable narrator. You are like a politician who has flip-flopped on your Justin Ross stance 19 times this summer. Can't trust these guys out here deleting their tweets, flip-flopping on their takes, whatever's convenient. You don't get to comment on Justin Ross. Some of us have been drafting Justin Ross all offseason and getting mocked for it. And now you want to come around and tell me I can't take other wide receivers because of Justin Ross? No. That's not how this works. Let the record show that drafting both Kadarius Toney and Justin Ross is not a mutually exclusive thing. When you select Kadarius Toney, Underdog thankfully does not pluck Justin Ross out of the player pool. Man, I wish I had more coffee. I think I got like this. Don't get excited for a pour. I think there's literally like a couple of drips left, but we're going for it because I'm feeling parched. Feel dehydrated. I'm out in the wilderness trying to find a wide receiver who's going to run more than 10% of the snaps. That was better. There was more there than I thought. I thought it was going to be a few drips. I got at least a sip and a half. That'd be pretty badass. How do I not have a coffee sponsor yet? How do I not have a coffee sponsor? I might just take every single Chiefs wide receiver. I'm just in that kind of giga stacking mood today. I mean, it still is possible that, I think it's unlikely at this point because Justin Ross has had such a great camp in preseason. What have the roster projection bros like gamed this out yet? Because all of the like Justin Watson's going nowhere. Like Justin Watson is on the team. Have we figured out who the odd man out is yet? Duke, I thought you were supposed to be my hype man. You're supposed to be my hype man. And now you're out here bringing the vibes down, mentioning redacted. I had hired you as my life coach. You were helping me do visualizations. Let's see. We are on the clock here. This does feel like a running back pick. Nothing at tight end. This is a tight end thing here. Probably get... I ain't scared about this Rashad Penny thing. I think we're going to keep ripping it in on Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny, a good fourth back to pair with JT, Kenneth Walker, and James Cook. And let's see here. It feels like it could be a good Jacoby Myers, right? We want some wide receiver production. We get Jacoby Myers playing KC in week 16, which we're going to end up onslaughting here. So now we got the Jamar Chase bring back in week 17 and the Jacoby Myers bring back in week 16. Start your own coffee brand, Grinders, duck logo. I could. Once I crack this mimosa cart catering business, maybe then I'll start on this. Also, I need your guys's. You know what? I'm gonna crowdsource this a little bit. I have a name, so I'm trying to think what I want to name the Monday show going forward in season. So in previous years, we've always had the Monday 10 a.m. It used to be the GPP lineup review show. Obviously, in the off season, it's called Best Ball Breakfast. This year, I feel like it's going to be more of a hybrid thing because the FBI has granted us permission to talk about our best ball teams in season. But I'm also going to be still talking about my DFS play as well. We'll be looking at weekly winter sweat. It's going to be more of a hodgepodge. And so I need to think, do we continue calling it Best Ball Breakfast? I don't know if that is a perfect name for it. I've been thinking of going with something like Fantasy Review and Brew. So we get the coffee theme in there. We get the morning theme, but it's a little bit more generalized for Best Ball DFS. But if you guys have a good suggestion for a name, obviously alliteration helps. A nod to the morning or breakfast helps. Something that can encompass DFS and Best Ball helps. So how about that for our comment challenge now that you guys are all done commenting? Leave a comment after and let me know a good name for that show. And if I use your name, name for the show, I will send you a $50 gift card to the store. How about that? So everyone go in the lab. Let's get the riffing. And, they say it takes a village to rename a Monday morning show. That's what we're going to do. Yeah, this was my leader in the clubhouse review and brew. Manic Mondays. Here's the thing, guys. Like, there are like funner, catchier names, but it also has to be for people who don't know what's going on. It does help for the name to kind of suggest what they're going to get in for. No, best ball brunch. Monday midterms. That sounds like a chore. Monday morning money. Most of the time, I'm not going to be having money in my account on Monday mornings. Monday munch. Sammy says, I never win. That's what you want to name the show? I never win. Monday show should literally just be called therapy. That's what we're changing this year. It is not, Monday morning shows are not just going to be a funeral. We are going to celebrate our successes. We're only going to eat so much shit. Ty says when you get 15K subs, you get lazy and need to use the chat. I mean, I've been shamelessly crowdsourcing stuff. You guys, the Best Ball Bros video, I had you guys all drop your favorite lines in the comments of one video. You guys get a writer's credit on the Best Ball Bros video. I'm nothing without you guys. It takes a village to stream all 150 drafts. By the way, if you missed Best Ball Bros video, by the way, did I just say by the way twice? Ugh, too much coffee. It's over on the Deposit Kingdom YouTube channel. So I have this YouTube channel for all my live streams. Then we got the Deposit Kingdom YouTube channel for the pre-produced stuff. So we had the Anatomy of $1 Million lineup over there earlier this offseason, how to combat a wide receiver avalanche. And then most recently, the Best Ball Bros video. Make sure you check that out. Get subscribed over there. Monday morning spelled MOURNING. Best Ball Brewskis. Coffee Beans and Best Ball. Monday Morning Blend. Monday Morning Mania Review. Mayview. Monday Morning Melee. B-Spurf, when are you updating the intro video? When I hit up Lou and tell him we need to update it. Yeah, I want to get that updated for at least a few of these final streams. Oh, we really are gonna draft every single Chiefs wide receiver. Are we gonna draft every Chiefs wide receiver? We've got Skyy Moore. Boom. Fat pitch right over the plate. Easy. Then all of a sudden, Kadarius Toney, bam! Over the right field wall. Now he's up. 1,000% batting average. Rashee Rice right down the pike. Bam! Fine, I'll just keep taking Chiefs wide receivers. What do we want to do at tight end here? Rise and grind? I might have to ask Denny. What do we want to do here? I do like Mostert a lot still. I also like Rojo. I like Cole Kmet gives me a little bit of upside at tight end. Let's take a tight end here. I don't have a lot of Cole Kmet without Fields. But, you know, when Laporta's off the board, I do like getting just a teeny bit of upside here. So we're going to take a little one-off Cole Kmet. You know, sometimes you hit the home run with the Patrick Mahomes correlation. Sometimes you just, man, my lack of baseball knowledge is really going to bleed this analogy dry. Just say I struck out looking and selected Cole Kmet. This is kind of fun. Best ball bag check. But I need it to still be inclusive of DFS because I still am going to be playing DFS. We got the Hand Builders and Opto Bros channel in the Deposit Kingdom. We got to be inclusive to DFS, but Best Ball Bag Check is a fun name. Gets the alliteration. We get the double entendre there with Bag Check. Yes, I will be doing battle royales. I will, my in-season schedule is mostly solidified. We'll be having some announcements over the next week or so for everything. We got some announcements over at Ship Chasing. We're going to have a shift in our programming schedule over there. I'm going to have a new show that's going to be on Fridays. Have an announcement about that soon. I think I've already mentioned we're going to be back this year with JM to Win on Fridays. We'll, of course, have the TBD named Monday morning review show. But yes, we will we'll be making all of those announcements shortly as I get my proverbial ducks in a row. You guys are still going. Wake and roster bait. Wake and roster bait is actually pretty good. If we did just lean into the best ball brunch theme with a little wake and roster bait. Ooh, now you guys are heating up. Will you guys please put these suggestions in the comments after the show so they're not lost to the sands of time? Pete's portfolio review is pretty good. That's pretty good. Pete's portfolio review. We get the alliteration. We get the double entendre there with portfolio. We get the nod to breakfast and coffee. Pete's portfolio review and brew. Maybe that's the full name. PPR. Oh my God. And it's PPR. I think we might have done it. And by we, I mean my guy, RKFD, aka Jonathan, aka contributor over at Fantasy Life, Best Ball Grinder. I think you did it, Jonathan. I think you did it. Portfolio. See, this is why would I spend all day walking around my house muttering to myself names? Review and brew, roster, wake and rise, when I can just ask the chat and let your guys' brilliance shine through. Pete Overzet and the Piss Boys would be a solid band name, except we'd get booed. Everyone come out and be like, play the hits, Piss Boys. And then they take Travis Etienne, Kenneth Walker, J.K. Dobbins, and James Cook with 4 straight picks. Boo! Boo! The Piss Boys were supposed to take wide receivers. Boo! All right, what are we going to be doing here? I feel like I'm like close to being, I mean, I got to save my wide receiver bullets for more. Like, why is Jonathan Mingo falling this far? I don't know if structurally, I also need to think about my quarterback plan here too. I don't know how I feel about a Jimmy Garoppolo team. Jordan Love is gone. Let's take Kendre Miller, who again I just find completely mispriced. I need to think about some of my backdoor stacks here. I think is this where we pull the Kyler? I mean, Mahomes Kyler is probably the pairing, right? It gives us backdoor stack options. We can bide our time. I think we go, I do like Musgrave here, but I don't have any correlation stuff that I really, if there's no Jordan Love back, I don't have anything with Minnesota. Easy saying Big Irv with the bring back. That could definitely make sense. Is there any chance Irv comes back? Unlikely. I just don't think I like my quarterback options late. I think I want to grab Kyler here and just have another big crack. It also sets me up. I still like Trey McBride a lot. Breakfast roast is the roast double entendre of making fun of my teams, and coffee roast is pretty good too. Castor toast. Adam, you can stop spamming in the chat. I feel like I've talked about all of these guys at extended length all offseason. Actually, this is a good chance to plug. In the Fantasy Life newsletter this week and on the site, we have a piece coming where all of us contributors, including Jonathan, who I just mentioned, write up 2 of our fades. And I wrote up Nick Chubb and Calvin Ridley and explained my thought process. So how about that for a plug? If you're going to spam the chat with the same comment, I am going to have you delay the gratification of that answer by keeping an eye out for the article on Fantasy Life later this week. Pete's Piss Boy reviews. There's not much piss to review. We'll have to do a final thing and see how many 0 RB teams I ended up with. Not a lot. By the way, we are going to do a 3rd draft after this one. This draft is going slow. Is it me or is everyone picking really slow in this one? I feel like I've been doing a lot of vamping and I still have 3 more picks. Today, ADP chasing, they're going to be live at 12:30. They push back a teeny bit to accommodate my drafts. They were going to do a high stakes draft today on ADP chasing. They were going to do a Bulldog draft, and then that filled late last night. So they're going to do a normal show looking at preseason risers and fallers today, Sam Sherman, Davis Maddock, and Pat Kerrane. But I do believe they're going to try to schedule a high stakes draft later this week over on ADP chasing to do an underdog draft. We'll see what underdog blesses us with as far as contest options for this final week. Kyle shouting out the Best Ball Exposure is part of Fantasy Life. Yep, the Best Ball Hub. I'll drop that link down here. I've been using it on basically every stream draft. I pull it up just to check out my early combinations. GM Bindles, GA, acknowledging how slow this one has been. That's the thing. I'm like, I was booking my Friday marathon stream, and I'm booking it in 50-minute chunks. But it is funny, like the range on drafts, because we can legit get drafts when everyone's ripping. You can get what? You can get a 35-minute draft. I mean, you're talking to the guy who presided over the world's fastest slow draft. But then sometimes these drafts, it's like, wow, everyone's taking their sweet ass time. Look at this. Adam's mad because I didn't answer why I'm fading Nick Chubb, Barkley, and Calvin Ridley, and now he's trying to get me. Pete, I have too much Kendre Miller lineup review. How did Kendre Miller's price not jump back up? Like, the whole reason it went down made sense because there was injury stuff. Then he comes out and starts with the ones in preseason, catches an incredible ball, scores a touchdown. Everyone is tripping over themselves to draft Tank Bigsby, but wants nothing to do with Kendre Miller. Y'all are wild. All right. Standing at the plate. Drafted Kyler Murray. Please no auto timeouts here. I'm ready to wait for my pitch. Don't time out. Okay. One more, Niels. One more here. I'm ready. It's Short King Summer, bitches. Come on, Neil. Damn it! Swing and a miss. Rondale Moore at 190. All right. Hang on. Let me get back to the plate. Hey, shake that one off. Shake that one off. Just a light single down the middle with Michael Wilson. Who do you want me to scroll down to? Greg Dortch? The Michael Wilson over Rondale Moore at these prices, like cost adjusted when Rondale Moore was going at like 120 for sure. But If we're not waiving Rondale Moore at 190, it feels like last year when people were taking Kenneth Gainwell over Miles Sanders. Like, that's what it starts to feel like. When the trendy guy becomes so trendy, the bet is cost adjusted, obviously. The cost adjusted, but when it moves to where he's actually flipping them, and Rondale Moore's going one pick before Michael Wilson, that's jumped the shark. That's jumped the shark. Man, what are we going to do here with tight ends? Do we just do it? Do we just grab Justin Ross and do a 2 tight end build? We're done with running backs. I mean, we can definitely be done with wide receiver, or we can just draft every single one. Sure. Bam! Justin Ross! We're going to be thin at tight end. But you know what they say about teams that are thin at tight end? They have 19 Chiefs wide receivers on the team. The pick should have been a tight end, but I got too excited to hit another Chiefs dinger. All right, now we need to find a tight end. I actually don't mind the skinny tight end builds, but this team definitely didn't need a 9th wide receiver, but I was doing batting practice. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Where is the Noah Gray hive coming out now? That's right. Sometimes we service the audio listeners. Sometimes we service Davis. Davis was trying to troll me saying I don't get to pick Kadarius Toney when I could just take Justin Ross. And I had to prove that you can take both. All right. We're already registered for the next draft. The next draft starts in 44 seconds. I have the 1-4 here. We need to speed this up. We're going to hop over to our next draft. This might be the slowest draft I've done all year. These guys just taking their sweet ass time. In the 1-4 draft, we got my guy Roto Run from the 1-1. Justin Gray. That's what I need. If you could just combine Justin Ross and Noah Gray into one Frankenstein total freak of nature, he'd basically be Travis Kelce. John, do something weird, dude. You're a game theory, bro. You can't take Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase 101. Oh, you already took Justin Jefferson 101. We're going to hop over to this one. For the audio listeners, and everyone's an audio listener on this other board right now, because I haven't switched the board over to the other draft. As drama builds, will Pete take another Chiefs wide receiver at pick 215? Will he take Justin Watson? So this draft started Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, and then entrapped, timed out on Jamar Chase. That hurts. That hurts. I'm going to grab Christian McCaffrey in this room, though. We grabbed Christian McCaffrey over in the other draft, which is going to be 134. Man, I've bit off more than I can chew. I got to land the plane here. I got to select a tight end. I got to recap the team. Then I got to hop over to the other draft board. Man, I sure hope I can do it. I sure hope I can do it. Are there too many fantasy football influencers? Sure seems like it. Sure seems like it. No. There is room for everyone. All right. Final tight end pick. Who are the tight end options, B-Spurf? Let me show you. Hayden Hurst, Isaiah Likely, Noah Fant, Cade Otton, Trey McBride. Wow, the Cole Turner hive is actually coming on strong these days. Cole Turner up to a 214.1. Mike Gesicki, Jelani Woods. You guys already know what the pick is. I'll use the Davis Maddox star method. Davis Maddox star method, come on down. Wait for it. Neil's taking Trey McBride as his fourth tight end. Would have been funny. All right, 2591 build. Peter Overzet at the plate. Oh, here comes a knuckleball. Bam! Trey McBride deep over the green monster. Holy hell, grand slam. Wrap up that correlation. Kyler Murray with Michael Wilson and Trey McBride. And let's not forget about the Rashad Penny bring back in week 17. All right, I need to recap this team, and then I need to make my pick at 2-9. All right, we need to get efficient here. The final team here, 2592 build. Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, running backs, Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, James Cook, Rashad Penny, Kendre Miller. Nice. Wide receivers. How long do you guys got? Jamar Chase, Brandon Ayuk, Zay Flowers, Skyy Moore, Kadarius Toney, Jacoby Myers, Rashee Rice, Michael Wilson, Justin Ross. All of the Chiefs wide receivers. A little batting practice there today. Tight ends. Worried about your tight ends, Cole Kmet and Trey McBride. Hey, I'm worried about them too. All right, let's hop over to this other draft. Back. Gone. This room might be living a little. Can I please get Davante Adams or Jalen Waddle at pick 21? Please? Can I please get Davante Adams or Jalen Waddle at pick 21? Yes! That's fun. That's fun. Just a nice little ADP slide there. Fine. We get Davante Adams goes at 20. That would have been quite the slide there. We start Christian McCaffrey and Jalen Waddle. So our three starts today, Austin Ekeler and Jalen Waddle, Jamar Chase and Patrick Mahomes, and Jalen Waddle and Christian McCaffrey. Let's see if I have any Waddle CMC teams. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate this. Someone needed to hear this. I don't know who needed to hear this, but you cannot be strong at all four positions. Cue Tyler. Tyler is typing. Tyler has a response to you cannot be strong at all four positions. Wow. Roto run. God, how cliche. Is that the most cliche game theory, bro? I watched a best ball tip about reaching for Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson to pair with my Justin Jefferson share. Come on, John. I expect more creativity from you. That's game theory 101. I thought you were supposed to be game theory 501. Let me have Devonta Smith here. Come on. Let me have Devonta Smith at... Are you going to time out again? This guy is timed out. Come on, Entrapped. Are you even drafting? Seriously? Come on. Let me just have Devonta Smith at 3-4. Nope. All right, we'll do T. Higgins. Fine. We'll do T. Higgins. Kind of surprised. Well, actually, I'm not surprised just because I take running backs so much at this spot in the early third. I do not have a ton of T. Higgins. I think I was only slightly over the field on T, 9.2%. Don't mind him at 3-4 there. Would have been fun to get Devonta Smith. So we start Christian McCaffrey, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins. I'm trying to think what unfolded here? So we got Tony Pollard who went at the 1-2 turn. We got the Chubb Barkley drafter. The Garrett Wilson drafter took Jalen Hurts at 16. So that ended up the Barkley Pollard Hurts picks is what pushed these wide receivers down. And then we saw Henry and Jacobs go. And then John did the Mark Andrews, Lamar Jackson thing, which then pushed Devonta and T. Higgins. People have been riding me for my Devonta Smith pronunciation because I say Devonta Smith. I'm getting better. I'm like 50-50 on getting it right. I think it was on Ship Chasing the other night. I said Devonta the whole time. Entrapped, who's on auto draft right now, got Jamar Chase, Derrick Henry, and Devonta Smith. I knew you had that, Tyler. It is one of the worst feelings. Nothing worse than the guy you wanted to fall as the top pick and the next guy is auto drafting. You just have to sit there and watch it happen. Here's the spin zone on it, and I agree. I was tilting that, but it all comes back around, right? Because you get bailed out. Anyone can auto draft the first 3 to 4 rounds, and your team's going to be fine. It's when you start auto drafting the landmines, especially when ADP hasn't adjusted on guys like Jerry Jeudy. Like if he's going to end up with Terry McLaurin and Jeudy here, then all of a sudden we no longer tilt it and we thank him for his service. James, I'll DM you the StreamYard link if you want to come on stream right now. We can all make fun of you on stream. I will. I want to start doing that more. When people say just pronounce his name correctly, it's not difficult to do. Yes. Stream every minute of your waking life, James, and we'll see how you do. Open invite to come on the stream. And I can make fun of you for stuttering. No, it is pronounced Devontae. There's an article out there where his nickname is Tay. The music, Mike, I'd love to get laughed at with the ducks in the background. How do I pronounce? I say Deontay Foreman. Some people say Donta. Isn't it Deonta? You got to respect the apostrophe there, I think. All right, we're doing Ramondre at pick 45. Holy cow, look at all these fallers. We got Keenan. My God. Chad says oddly specific stutter call out. Well, I just know no one who does regular streaming will come on and stutter. The chat is getting pedantic today here. There's so many commenters, Twitter trolls, people from Discord that I would love to bring in that are keyboard warriors and love to watch them absolutely melt on camera. Open invite if you are a prolific shit poster and troll to come on stream and watch your world come crumbling down, the confidence washing away. Yeah, get the sauce, pronunciation sauce. This is how you get famous. You start trolling more, and then I bring you on stream. Adam says, come on. He'll come on. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm fading you in round 2. I'm fading Chubb, Barkley, Ridley, and Adam Liss. Look at all the trolls coming out. Sup, Pete? David Flood. I don't think I've ever seen David Flood's name in this chat. I like that we've now moved. We've progressed, right? We did the giveaway. We did all of the rah-rah, the toxic positivity. And now we can all say how we truly feel about each other. Pete, you don't pronounce names right. And then I get to call you out for coming on stream and not being good at talking either. Isn't Entrapped, at least Entrapped's going to auto Aaron Jones this time. See, it's going to start to swing back. Now I get Brandon Ayuk at pick 52 with McCaffrey. Seems fun. I do like this start. Christian McCaffrey, Ramondre Stevenson, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, and Brandon Ayuk from the 1-4 spot here. Look at Roto Run, grabbing the Najee dip at 4-5. Man, Entrapped got lucky because he just missed the Terry McLaurin. Oh, another plug today. I'm going to be going on Liam's stream aka Checkers Liam, aka the winner of Best Ball Mania 2, aka the guy that was lamenting being late on Darrington Evans in Best Ball Mania 2, even though he won it. Anyways, I'm going to do a show at 3. We're going to draft one of my BBM bullets. Because if I'm on stream this week drafting, it needs to be one of my bullets. I have it all gamed out right now for this schedule. Going to draft a BBM team on the club. Going to draft a BBM team on the Swolecast. Adding a Best Ball Breakfast. We're going to draft a team on Best Ball After Dark with Bill Barnwell. Draft. Yeah, odds I'm bullied into taking Kincaid ahead of ADP. We actually just took Kincaid in one of our Mastiff slow drafts, the $1,000 buy-in. He slid to, I think we took him at pick 135 or 136. So getting a little bit of Kincaid exposure in the high stakes. I have not seen Liam's thumbnail for the stream, and now I'm scared. All right, I want to go look. All right, let me pull this up. Oh, let's see what Liam has done with this. Oh my God, Liam. Let's see. What even is this, Liam? Probably the worst photo. Oh, my photo is in the way. Hang on. Let me push my photo over to the side. Let me get rid of the overlay so we can fully appreciate this. Liam. This guy just refuses to pay someone else to make his thumbnails for him. You honestly got to respect it. You really got to respect it. All right, where's my draft here? Where's my draft? All right, we're back. Let me move myself back up here. There we go. The guy is off the rails. You got to respect it. You got to respect it. He's a grinder. When I had Liam on the randomizer, we got to see how the sausage got made because we had a couple prompts where he had to make thumbnails on the fly. It was a true treat. It was a real treat to watch Liam make thumbnails, like sitting front row, getting to watch Tom Brady or LeBron James or Monet. Just people at the peak of their powers performing at an elite level. What are you going to do, G. Kleiner? Because I have a pick I would like to take. Like to do a little Baltimore batting practice. Boom. Been wanting to get more J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins at this price. Kittle would also be fun with our mega. But man, I just want more Dobbins. I'm sorry. Kittle's fun if we want to keep the Omega stacking theme, but I just want more Dobbins. I don't know what to tell you guys. I want more Dobbins. Also, a small chance Kittle comes back. Fuck, not a small chance because in Wrapped is auto drafting. Can you please be back in Wrapped? Can you please be back and just make a pick? Because if not, I don't think John's probably taking Kittle and the Hawkinson drafters probably not. If it weren't for in Wrapped, we might have had a chance. He was going to get Dobbins or Kittle though, regardless. Bye, Kittle. Bye, George Kittle. It's okay. I needed more Dobbins. I needed it. Vadim said I had all these things I needed to do today. Instead, I'm just drafting BBM. It happens. Did I forget to update my banner? This is 134, right? I think I forgot to update the banner. 134. Can you believe it? Can you believe that we've done 134 Best Ball Mania streams? What is that? So 134, if we just budget that at 45 minutes a pop, that's over 6,000 minutes divided by 60, 100 hours. We just crossed, probably literally in the past few minutes, we've passed 100 hours of live stream drafts. It's too much. It's too much. All right. At least in Wrapped is now falling on the Miles Sanders sword, and I can take Jordan Addison here. Definitely like the tight ends there, but with as far as some of those tight ends have been falling and starting with 3 running backs here, I want to keep grabbing some wide receivers. So the team through 7 rounds, CMC, Ramondre, and J.K. Dobbins at running back, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, and Jordan Addison at wide receiver. Nice that the Tyreek Hill drafters behind me. So if I want to get Tua, probably going to have to prioritize Tua at 93, which could put me in a tough spot if we get a crazy tight end faller. That's what they say. Malcolm Gladwell is actually writing the sequel. And it's about 100 streamer hours. He says around the 100th hour, you learn how to properly pronunciate NFL player names. Oh, I appreciate that, Star Kindler. There isn't another internet human I'd rather have spent 100 hours of my year with. It reminds me, someone made a video, although they wanted to remain anonymous. They made a sentimental ode to drafting. Maybe we play it at the end of this stream. Maybe I can get it loaded in here and we can play it, and we'll close out on that. I got to post it as a short, but I feel like debuting it at the end of the episode could be good. Let me see here. All right. Yeah, I just got it loaded in the hopper. So we have a special treat as we look back. I guess it would be more. Actually, we might have to save it for Friday. I'm sorry. I don't mean to tease, but this video is too good. Someone made a video, an ode to streaming all 150 of my drafts. I think we got to save it for Friday. I got too excited. We got to wait. I did. I gave you guys content blue balls. ADP chasing going live at 12:30 here. $10,000 hours rule for NFL name pronunciations. No, this has just been my my batting practice because I'm going on SiriusXM. I'm doing SiriusXM tomorrow, and then in season I'll be doing SiriusXM Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 to 1 with Kendall Valenzuela with Fantasy Life. And that's where I really got to dial in my pronunciations, because hell hath no fury like a Twitter egg sliding into my DMs telling me I said Devonta Smith's name wrong. You know, I can deal with these guys in the YouTube chat. You guys are easy to deal with. I can keep you at arm's reach. All right. I do think we need to do Tua here. I don't think Tua's coming back with the Tyreek Hill drafter behind us. Normally, it's kind of nice that normally the Tyreek Hill drafter is on the other side of you over here. And then I could have just seen if they reach for Tua and then have 2 cracks at it coming back. But we're just going to lock Tua up here. Man, my Tua exposure is getting up there. At 13% heading into today, selected him twice more in these drafts. But when you draft Jalen Waddle, Tua becomes a pretty damn good pick. Pronounce Tua's last name. I should. What? I think I bailed on it. Let me try it. The key when you don't. So there's 2 keys when you don't know exactly how to pronounce a name. 1, you say it really fast, and 2, you say it with supreme confidence. If you do those 2 things, you can get away with it. And that is why I just stacked up Jalen Waddle with Tua Tagovailoa. You see that? You leave no room to bail on the pronunciation. You just say it fast and confident. That's what you do. All right, what happened to this draft board? What happened here? Entrapped is going to time out and take Dalvin Cook. This is a little bit flat for running back, and I really don't need running backs right now. Kind of flat for tight end. I might just grab my guy Doubs. Might just grab my guy Doubs here. Little week 17 correlation with Jordan Addison. Gives me outs to another backdoor stack. Let's do it. All right, the team through 9 rounds. Tua stacked up with Waddle, 3 running backs, CMC at pick 4, Ramondre at 45, J.K. Dobbins at 69. Nice. Wide receivers, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison, Romeo Doubs. And no tight ends through 9 rounds. Wow. Pronunciation comment section. You guys are living your life today. All right. Take back the pick. Dobbs has an injury. Can we undo all my JSN picks too? And my Terry McLaurin ones? How about my Traylon Burks ones? My Kyler Murray picks? Can we undo all of the players I selected that are injured? Is he injured for the full year? Let's see. How does this contest work? $3 million. What is that paid out? That $3 million is paid out in week 17. Then you do get some money in week 15. Is Dob? Is he out? Is he out for the full year? Because if he's out for the full year, then I do regret that. Mac Nova says 134 drafts in. We need something new to complain about. Exactly. This is like, I think we all overstayed our welcome. You know, normally I do 2 drafts. We're normally about what, $1:45, hour 45. We get in, we get out. Everyone's on pins and needles today. Everyone's chirping at each other. We're like a family reunion that goes one day too long. You're glad to see everyone. It's been a while. But then Aunt Nancy is kind of getting on your nerves. And then all of a sudden, Uncle Scott is eating potato salad with his bare hands and not using a fork. And it's just kind of like, all right, let's pack it in. Let's try this again in another 10 years. It was great seeing everybody. But Aunt Linda just took the entire mimosa carafe to the face. And I think it's time. I told you, Chad, it's the family reunion that's gone too long. Where is this Dobbs new? I don't even know. I just read something from the chat that told me he's hurt. Who is the best player, highest ADP value you have on your BBM4 rosters? Yeah, there haven't been any like massive risers. I would say my 2 biggest CLV wins are probably Marvin Mims, who I was selecting a ton in May and June. And then honestly, probably James Cook. You know, Sean was getting, I had such a bad take where I'd said to Sean one time when he wanted us to take James Cook, and I was like, I don't really think James Cook is the kind of guy that's going to rise. I feel like his ADP will just chill out right here. And then lo and behold, he jumped 2.5 rounds of ADP. So those are 2 guys that I've selected a ton, Marvin Mims and James Cook, where I've gotten at least kind of 2 rounds of closing line value. That's another thing you can see in the Fantasy Life Best Ball Hub. You can see the current ADP and your average ADP for them. But there really haven't been any, we didn't get the Dameon Pierce type rise, or at least we haven't yet. It would probably take a lot for that to happen. Are we doing an Anthony Richardson team? Or do you stack up Kirk Cousins with Jordan Addison? This feels like a spot to get a little bit more Anthony Richardson. I mean, we do have backdoor stuff with Brandon Ayuk. Like I said, we have Cousins. I don't often draft Anthony Richardson, but when I do, it's at cheap prices. Let's grab Anthony Richardson to pair with Tua. KP, I missed the winners of the giveaway. Yes, we did that on Friday. Friday stream with Rob Coakley. Wow, Spags coming out of the woodwork on the Splash Play account. I'm going to join the trolls if you don't take AR. I call him AR because I don't know how to pronounce Anthony Richardson? Anthony Richardson? I think I got that one. Yeah, I'm going to go get my Anthony Richardson jersey right now. Chad says, I think the only way to get a Damien rise is an injury and a free agent RB just getting into a nutted spot. Yeah, I mean, the Dameon Pierce rise just happened from, there was no injury that happened. It was just the market getting really confident he was going to be the starting running back last year. Like when King Capital got him, I think it was a 12th or 13th round pick, and then he settled in the 7th round. I thought maybe we could get a rise like that from one of the Dolphins backs or the Bears backs or even the Saints backs. But the Kamara suspension ended up being lighter than we thought. The specter of a running back trade kept all the Dolphins picks in check. And then the Bears one, that I still think is the most likely candidate. There were some whispers that Deonta Foreman might get cut. Like if something like that happened, but the market is now more on Khalil Herbert, and it's harder for him to rise a bunch because he was already the most expensive back. So I think the moral of the story is we're not going to get a this year's Dameon Pierce. I think that's the deal. All right, what do we want to do here? We could take Tank Bigsby. He slides a little bit past ADP, or we could sit on A-Chain with our Miami bet. The tight ends have kind of gotten wiped here. I think we'll just grab Bigsby here. So we add Bigsby to CMC, Ramondre, Dobbins. And then that will give us permission to only go 4 if we want. I think this could definitely be a 4 running back build. My guess is at some other juncture, we're probably going to like a 5th running back, but could certainly do that if I wanted. Still punting tight end here. This is the sad reminder because we're going to quickly figure out that there's multiple of these guys. MTM Revolt here says, we were drafting Isaiah Spiller and Tyrion Davis-Price over Pierce last year to start. Mistakes were made. Some of these guys that we're taking in what? I don't know, picks 100 to 130. The Tank Bigsby's, the Devon A-Chain. Like, so one of these guys is going to be this year's Spiller. It is like, it is kind of, it's a weird psychological thing with best ball drafting because you do truly have to draft like you're right. Like you have to draft as if, you know, Zach Charbonnet is this year's Kenneth Walker that breaks out from these rounds. You have to draft as if Antonio Gibson is this year's Ramondre Stevenson. Like when you make those clicks to win a 600,000 plus person tournament, you have to have nailed the league winner. And yet, by far, the most likely probability is that those picks bust. And so it's this weird psychological effect that to be a good drafter, you have to draft the most idealized version of that selection. And yet also you got to be willing to get kicked in the nuts when they are not that. And that is both the beauty and the rub of best ball. No best ball brunch jokes. Anthony says, Pete, any Jalen Tolbert shares after the Cowboys said he's locked in? Anthony, I made a vow on stream that I was one and done with Jalen Tolbert. No other Tolbert shares. I promise I would never lie about something. I have one share, 0.8%. One and done Jalen Tolbert. If I say on stream I'm never taking a guy ever again, I'm a man of my word. someone say rub. Bobby says Athletic has 7 wide receivers making KC, so should be good. You must be behind on the replay stream, but that is good to know. That me doing Kansas City Chiefs batting practice worked out well. Revolt says, I think the market did better at adjusting to post-draft this year, I think, for the most part. I do too. I think I talked about it with Karain, right? That the market is still pretty bad at reacting to news that has happened relatively recently. You know, you see how long the Judy ADP lingers just because people are so anchored to it. But over the longer samples of the summer, the ADP has been really good. All right, I will take Devon Achane and be done at running back. If we're gonna on a Tua build, if we're gonna get Achane here this year's Isaiah Spiller at pick 141, and we can X out running backs at this point. So the team here through 12 rounds, Tua and Anthony Richardson at quarterback, running back, Christian McCaffrey, Ramondre Stevenson, J.K. Dobbins, Tank Bigsby, and Devon Achane. Wide receiver, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison, and Romeo Doubs. No tight ends. But we can figure that out. We will figure it out. Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't know if I have a strong take on this. Do you guys have a take on it? John says, where are we at on 18th round Deion Jackson versus Evan Hull? I kind of lean Jackson. It's tough, right? Because Jackson was really good in a couple of those spots last year, but it does spook me that Deion Jackson's calling card was catching a ton of balls. And I'm just not sure how much of that we're going to get with Richardson. But I am more inclined in that spot to lean in favor of the back who's been in the system, that they clearly trust in pass protection and third downs. He just seems like the guy that has the clearer path to being on the field more. But what do you guys think? Are you guys on team Evan Hull or are you on team Deion Jackson? I've been seeing, aren't their ADPs pretty close to each other now too? Entrapped is going to time out here. I'm going to go ahead and reach for Alec Pierce. I don't think he's going to come back to me at 165. I definitely want to get that stack with Anthony Richardson here. And this is such a flat range. Van Jefferson, MVS, Gallup, Osborne. Let's go ahead and get Alec Pierce here. So we stack up Anthony Richardson with Pierce. And now we're at a 2560 build. Charlie says, think it might be hard for Judy, et cetera, to drop quicker because of auto drafters. Yeah, that's a really good point. I wonder how much of the stickiness of that ADP is less drafters being stubborn and not reacting to news and drafting off of ADP, and more so guys like Entrapped here from the 3-hole who just auto draft and keep those ADPs right there. That would be interesting. Team indifferent. Team JT isn't going anywhere. I will say, though, on the team JT isn't going anywhere, I think that's a fine take, but we should still care about backup running backs and contingent value, even when they're behind a locked and loaded starter. It was kind of what I was talking about with Zamir White before, where Zamir White just doesn't feel like a fun pick because we haven't got to see him have the backfield to himself much. But I'm still interested in the backup running back on the Colts, even if you tell me Jonathan Taylor is there starting for them in week 1. There's still a lot of different ways. There's lots of outs, right? Would it shock anyone if JT became disgruntled again at some point in the season? Or there's an injury? Or they're just such a run-heavy team this year that another back is getting on the field? I don't know. I just think there's paths to caring about the back if we like the profile, right? Like here's an example. Is anyone drafting backup running backs on the Giants? What is it? Eric Gray and Matt Breida? But that's another one too where, I mean, no one is drafting those guys, or at least sub 5% of drafters are. But I think it's fair to wonder if either of those guys in the event of an injury would get more than 10 touches. Sue, can we mark this down? Tyler and I are having a side bet on JT. You guys could do whatever you want. Are you want me to provide escrow services? I don't know if I can help you out on that front. I think you guys need to hash this out on your own. Only in my comments could I get Tyler saying, how much do you want to put down, Sue Ann? I hope you guys figure it out. Be careful out there. Only make wagers with people you know and trust. What's Willis's bet logging rate? Willis is my accountant. He's been our accountant over on Splash Play over the years. He's a literal accountant, but he's also the Best Ball Bets accountant. I think we want more wide receivers here. Jalen Hyatt falling. I think we might be fully punting tight end. We might, yeah. I think if we go, we're going to grab Jalen Hyatt here. We're definitely getting to 3 tight ends. Could this be a Dan Zack 4 tight end build? Who the fuck is Dan Zack? Let's look at what we need here. We got Tua and Richardson skinny stacked wide receiver wise. I wouldn't mind taking both of their tight ends. We do have Devon Achane as part of that Miami. We also don't have a Baltimore bring back. I might be doing a 4 tight end build, guys. I'm starting to talk myself into a 4 tight end build here. We're good at running back. We're good at quarterback. Are we good at wide receiver? Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison, Doubs, Pierce, and Hyatt. I think we could potentially be done. I think we take Greg the leg, give us a little bit of upside at tight end, and then absolutely crank it purple. All right, glad you guys could work this out in the chat. Need more wide receiver. I mean, Jaden Reed is interesting for sure, especially as another bet on the Packers, but he goes. I'm gragging Greg, and I'm telling you guys right now, I'm about to settle in for tight end batting practice. You might not like it, but I'm settling in. We're going to hit for the tight end cycle. You guys really need to hash out the particulars of this bet before you lock it in next time. Can someone Google Jelani Woods for me before I select him with my last pick? That would be helpful. Can someone please Google Jelani Woods? Sit out team drills. God, this was a month ago? That doesn't sound good. Is Jelani Woods back at practice? Will someone tell me if Jelani Woods is back at practice? What's the point of having a live chat watch you draft if you can't crowdsource the news hounding to them? Please, I need a full-on breakdown. 5 hours ago, Colts Jelani Woods dealing with a torn hamstring. Indianapolis Colts tight end Jelani Woods missed most of training camp in the entire preseason due to a hamstring injury. That feels bad. Should we galaxy brain the other Colts tight end? Is it Kyle Granson season? Chad, are you still in the chat? How many teams has Kyle Granson been drafted on? Is this when we get Galbrain with a little Kyle Granson pick? Ooh, the chat's getting all chubbed up for a Kyle Granson pick. Trust me, I've done the Mo Alley Cox thing. No news in 28 days. Trust the process. Is this a bit? Tell me, is this a bit, Derek? You have 37% Granson. Are you serious? Please tell me that's a bit. If you're serious, I will select him. Full stop. I will tail you on this take. That has to be your most drafted player. I'll do it. Trust me, I'll do it. I'm waiting for Derek to confirm he's not doing a bit before I select Granson. All right. Let's go ahead and do... All right, I was going to take Conklin, and he goes. Hunter Henry, like if we're going to be doing some really fringe guys, Hunter Henry, I think, makes sense as part of this tight end room. Hang on. Oops, I forgot. All right, he's back up to bat again. Starting tight end on the New England Patriots. Aren't you worried about a nor'easter and the game getting moved in week 17? But Pete stays in the batter's box. Nice little double there down the right field line. Hunter Henry. Oh, actually, he holds up. He holds up at first. It's just going to be a single there. Thought we saw Peter rounding to second, and then he was a little more realistic and said, Hunter Henry's definitely hitting a single pick. Greg Dulcich, now that's a triple. If you hit right on that, that's a triple. But Hunter Henry, that's a single. Did I snipe you? You wanted Hunter Henry? Why did you want Hunter Henry? Were you setting up? What were you setting up? Wow. John was setting up the backdoor stack with Juju. I'm so sorry. Hey, there's always Mike Gesicki. All right. So the team through 16 rounds. We have 2 more picks left, and I'm telling you, I'm no bullshit. I'm doing 4 tight ends. This one goes out to Dan Zack. Tua and Anthony Richardson at quarterback. Perfectly cromulent 2 quarterback room. Running back Christian McCaffrey, Ramondre Stevenson, J.K. Dobbins, Tank Bigsby, Devon Achane. Perfectly cromulent running back room. Wide receiver Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison, Romeo Doubs, Alec Pierce, Jalen Hyatt. Perfectly cromulent wide receiver room. Tight end Greg the Leg Dulcich and Hunter Henry. It's not perfectly cromulent yet, but we are going to make it fucking cromulent as all get out. Look at this 5.3% Jelani Woods. That doesn't feel good. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to do. We're going to take Michael. Here's pronunciation. Is it Michael Mayer or Michael Meyer? Someone tell me. Everyone says it differently. You guys know ball. You guys know pronunciations. You tell me, is it Meyer or Mayer? That's who I'm going to select as my bring back. Let me sit in the pocket here. Little Anthony Richardson, not going to end up. Need a little bit more upside here. Pete's waiting for the pitch. Here it comes. It's a slider. Oh, he just gets it down the left field line. Michael Meyer. Look at this. 2 people saying it backwards. You guys all have it differently. There you go. There you go. Michael Mayer / Meyer. See, I've been saying Mayer, and then I heard people say Meyer, and I felt like I was getting gaslit. All right, so this is what it's going to come down to, chat. You know what? I'm going over to the chat, and I'm doing an actual poll. I'm doing a real poll, not a straw man poll, a real poll. And you guys are going to pick my last tight end. This is it. All right, I'm going to the chat here. All right, here's the poll. It says engage with your audience. Oh, I'll engage with them, all right? Start a poll. Hang on. Which tight end should I take to complete my Dan Zack build? Option number 1, Durham Smythe. Option number 2, let me make sure they're both available. Kylen Granson. Whoever, this poll will determine what I do. I just asked my community. The poll is out. The poll is out. Here come the votes. Is this a Durham Smythe or a Kylen Granson team? You guys get to decide. You guys get to land the plane on draft 134. No, there's no write-in votes. No write-in votes. You guys got to play by the rules of the poll. Right now, with partial precincts reporting, 80 votes. Durham Smythe in the lead with 54%. Kylen Granson at 48%. This is going to be a hotly contested poll here. Let me see if I can get this pulled up. Or you guys can see it in the chat. I don't need to pull this up on screen, but I will give us updates here. 53% Durham Smythe with 100 voters. I need everyone, if you're listening to this in another tab, I need you to come over here and vote. Who's this tight end going to be? I'm going to put both in the queue. Is this a Smythe? Or is it a Granson? This is neck and neck. 107 votes, 52% Smythe, 47% now Granson. Put my poll on the screen. That sounds like a great way to get demonetized. Wow. You know what? I might just have to overrule the chat. I might have to overrule the chat. I really want Kylen Granson. You know what? I'm overruling the chat. This whole stream, the theme from basically hour on, has been me battling with the chat. You guys telling me I mispronounce things. Well, guess what? I don't care that 56% of you want me to take Durham Smythe. There's way too many Smythe slappies here. We're overriding it. Peter, sitting down, bottom of the ninth. Here comes the pitch. Oh no, I gotta click it. Oh, I got really worried I had the positional limit set in and I was gonna get auto Deon Jackson. Hang on, let's replay that. Let's wind that back. Bottom of the ninth, Durham Smythe in the queue. But look at that. Holy cow, they're bringing out a pinch hitter and he swings. Kylen Granson. Wow. They're fishing that one out of the San Francisco Bay. Kylen Granson over the park. Home run. We overruled the chat. Look at this Kylen Granson headshot, by the way. Look at this Kylen Granson headshot. Can I get this pulled up here? Can you see that? How do I get this so you guys can see this? Look at that. All right, whatever. We can't see it. It's time to land the plane. Johnny says he pretended to throw a ball before I swing. Guys, I'm mixing up my baseball metaphors here, all right? Just relax. It's time to land the plane here so you guys can get over and watch ADP chasing. Let me look at this final team here. Draft number 134 in the books. Tua Tagovailoa. Anthony Richardson at quarterback. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey, Ramondre Stevenson, J.K. Dobbins, Tank Bigsby, Devon Achane. Wide receivers, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Brandon Ayuk, Jordan Addison, Romeo Doubs, Alec Pierce, Jalen Hyatt, tight end, Greg the Leg Dulcich, Hunter Henry, Michael Mayer, not Meyer, and of course the coup d'etat, the overrule of the chat, the Smythe Slappies down bad, none other than Derek's 37% rostered, Kylen Granson. Mic drop, walk-off homer, go enjoy stat chasing. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m.